To taking care of mom and dad. Today we have Adrianne, who is coming with us from Visiting Angels. Can you tell us a little bit about you?
Yep. So I'm Adrianne. I work with Visiting Angels Dearborn, and I have 17 years in home care. And I was an owner for 15 years, and now I work with a gentleman that has owned for several years himself. I do his marketing and networking, and we do a lot of brainstorming together. So that's basically what I do. I work with the families and with the owner.
Oh, wonderful. Now, can you tell me a little bit about the owner who bought over?
Yes. So Robert Johnson is the owner of Visiting Angels Dearborn. His background is actually from finance, but he was taking care of his father while his father battled cancer. And his father and Robert are both veterans. Robert is a former Marine. And while he was taking care of his dad, he saw a commercial for Visiting Angels and really had a passion for taking care of people. He's a very kind, very ethical gentleman, and he really wanted to stop doing finance and help his community out. And he thought Visiting Angels would be the perfect way to go. And so that's what he did. He stopped everything he ever did in his life and turned completely around and started working with the Visiting Angels Corporation and opened up his own business several years ago.
Wow, isn't that interesting that it just takes that one moment
Mm-hmm.
and you all
Yep.
of a sudden know this is what you want to do?
Yeah. And he's just a wonderful man. He really is.
Can you tell me a little bit about Visiting Angels, the company itself?
Yes. So Visiting Angels has been around over 25 years now. The gentleman that owned it actually worked in a nursing home, and he was like a director of a nursing home, but he did not see the care, the one-on-one care that people really need. And so he just decided to put a little ad in the paper, and it said that he had some angels. And if you wanted to be taken care of in your home and not a nursing home, to contact him. Well, it blew up over a weekend. He got so many calls, and he had to quit his job at the nursing home, and this is how he started Visiting Angels. And then he had a friend who was an attorney who wanted to go in with him, and he started a Visiting Angels as well. And then they decided to take it as a franchise, and we're all over the US. We're in Canada and we're in England, and it's a fabulous home care company. um, they do a lot to not only support the owners, but they do a lot to support the caregivers as well, who are helping with clients. And you really need good caregivers, and they just do a fabulous job with training, with just the support that they have. It's just a great company, really is.
Wow, yeah, I've heard so many actually really good things about that
Mhm.
company, Visiting Angels. Can you mention a couple things that your company or Visiting Angels does that helps out your caregivers?
Yes. So Visiting Angels, the corporation itself, has it's called the University Visiting Angels. So if there's more training that they want, or if there's someone new coming into the caregiver job, as you know, because since COVID, we've had to really change a few things around, and they've done a great job. But
Yeah.
it starts anywhere from if you're a brand new caregiver all the way to if you're a caregiver that's been doing it for a long time and you want extra training. We have that. It's fabulous. It's videos, it's certificate. I mean, it's just everything. And then for our particular company, we have training that we have caregivers that have been with us a long time that will take another newer caregiver and let them job shadow. We do twice a year, we have in service, which actually I'm in charge of all the in service. So we have either an expert from hospice or hospital or someone come in and give new information, or possibly information that's changed on something that they've been doing. Or I do the teaching. In fact, we've got one coming up in October. It's called Embrace Your Reality. We're changing how we deal with dementia. So we have that training. We have video training that they can do specifically with us. We just do everything that we can to support them. You know, we're open 24/7 for them. If they want to call and talk to us at any time, they can. They can come into the office anytime and talk to us. We're always there for them. So uh, I think Visiting Angels Dearborn does a fabulous job of communicating with not just the clients, but the caregivers, because they're really the heart of the business.
So that's great that you have. So it's like an open door policy for
Yep.
whatever questions they may have
Mm-hmm.
or anything that they may need. That's
And
wonderful.
Robert will take like hours and talk to not just the client, but a caregiver too. He's just fabulous. He's just got a lot of patience.
You need that a lot of times.
Yeah.
Now, just switching over a little bit. So for family members, can you walk through with me what the services your company provides, and then also walk through when a client calls, what the procedures that you go through?
Okay, so I'm going to actually start with the second question first because that'll go through the whole timeline. So in a quick nutshell, if you are looking for home care, you would let's say you call us, and we have a wonderful lady that works with us, Jean. She usually answers the phone. She's fabulous. She actually used Visiting Angels years ago for her mother. And then when she retired, she was looking for a job and she loved Visiting Angels. So that's why she started
Good
working.
to know,
But
because that shows
yeah,
who's
she
working
knows
for you.
both sides.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. But you would call, you would talk to us if you like how we talk. And Jean is fabulous. Again, she's very kind, she's very sweet, very patient. You can set up an interview with us. We actually come out. When I say we, Robert will go out and meet with the potential client, answers all their questions. So what home care actually does is, and I have said this for years, I describe it as we become a client's hands and legs for them. We will do everything from just assisting and companionship up to if they are bedbound. So if you just want companionship and you just need someone there in the house to make sure that you're not anxious, that you've got someone to eat a meal with, make sure that you are stable when you get a shower, because we can stand next to you and assist you, or we can be out of the bathroom but within earshot. We can do all of that for you. We can water your plants, we can take you to the movies, we can take you out to eat, run grocery errands for you, the doctors, there's all that, med reminders. Or if you are bedbound, we can make sure all of that is done, laundry's done, with your house is clean. We turn you every so often when maybe every hour, every 2 hours, we're with you. We make sure that you are safe and there's no anxiety. I find that's the number one problem that our clients have, is they are anxious. They may be perfectly healthy, but they're older and they're getting anxious, and just having someone there really, really calms them down. And then their family members who are working aren't getting phone calls all the time, and it makes the family members feel better, because now they don't have to rush over and make sure mom, dad, grandma, whoever is actually in need, and another thing I like to tell people is, when you go to someone's house as a caregiver and you're taking care of their family member, when they can come now and visit, they can visit. They're not actually cleaning and making the meals. They actually can relax and have a good time with their loved one. So that's what we do. And people have to remember, we are non-medical. So we're not going to take pills out of prescriptive bottles, but if it's in a Sunday through Saturday container, or we had some clients who put them in Dixie cups, lined them up that way and put the dates on it. But we will make sure that they are safe and that they are getting the medication and the sleep and the care that they need.
Some great points that you brought out. And along with that, what would you say to someone who is on the fence of having someone go into, I always hear the phrase from different people, I don't want a stranger in my house or in my parents' house.
Can't even tell you the thousands of times I heard that. So I always tell them, we're a stranger in the beginning. You have to remember, we don't know you either. So that's one reason why I come and meet you ahead of time, because not only are you meeting us and learning how Visiting Angels is, but I'm actually meeting you to make sure my caregivers, if you hire us, are safe. So we aren't a revolving door. You would get the same caregiver or two, even if you had 5 caregivers, because you have a huge schedule, you're going to have the same caregivers, unless you are not bonding with one of them. That doesn't mean they're not doing what they should do, but maybe you're not bonding. We'll switch them out. So we'll find someone else for you, but you always have the same caregiver or caregivers. You always have access to call us. You always have access to go online and look at what we're doing on our social media. But I always remind everyone, we don't know you as well. So that's why we do the meetings ahead of time. And then if you decide you want to hire us and try us out, you can always try us out a week, 2 weeks. If you don't like it, it's not for you, it's not for you. But at least you've gone through that avenue, and you already know you're not going to sit there and if you don't hire us and say one day, gosh, what would have been like to have home care. At least you tried. So, we're all meeting each other. We're all strangers, but it won't last. We'll get to know each other.
Yeah. And that's a good point that you brought out, that you can trial this.
Yep.
It's not a commitment.
Yep.
So, and it's also good, their parents, the mom and dad, but also them. You find a lot of seniors, they don't realize until someone comes in how comforting that is.
Yeah. Yes.
It ends up making them, as you mentioned before, that it relieves that stress and it makes it a safe environment.
And the bonding that I've seen is just amazing.
Their parents, and these are friendships that are for a lifetime. And I've seen that, and I'm sure you've seen it so many times, where a lot of these caregivers, even sad to say, after the mom or dad have passed away, they still
oh, it's heartbreaking for them. Yeah. And they still, I had several of my caregivers who they're still in touch with the family members.
Yeah.
Years later.
Yeah. So it's really important that we try this, that we really try it for our loved one and for ourselves.
Yeah. And if it's not for you, it's not for you, but you tried it.
Yeah. Now, another question, what would you say is the mission statement or the philosophy behind Visiting Angels?
I don't know necessarily if this is a mission statement, but the philosophy for sure is, it was started because there were so many nursing homes out there that it's not that they weren't doing their job, it's that there's just too many. So they weren't getting the one-on-one. And then when home care started to come into play, there's a lot of home care companies out there that are not ethical. They're in it for the bottom line. They just want to make money. So the philosophy, and I know for Robert, for him, it's, we want to come into your home. We want to take care of you like we're taking care of ourselves and our loved ones. We want to make sure you're getting kind, ethical, above and beyond care. That is the whole reason I know that he's in business, and why I went into business, and why I still continue to work in home care. Because you want to make sure that there's at least, even if it's a small percentage of home care, that we're out there really taking care of, and you're not getting lied to, and you're getting ethical home care. That's the whole philosophy. You have to treat people like it's you, like you want to be treated, period.
Yep. Like you and your family member, how your family member would want to be treated.
And I actually had a caregiver, every time she would meet, when I would introduce her to the client, the new client, she would always take the family member's hands, and she would say, I'm going to treat them like they're my mother or my father, whoever, and she did. She was fabulous. Yeah.
Yeah. So she understood that connection going on. And that's great when you have people working for you that are able to be at that level.
Yeah. She was wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I wanted to thank you, Adrianne, for sharing your time and letting us know a little bit more about Visiting Angels and what they offer and the story behind the company.